Um, so basically for this call, I know a lot of people on my team in particular have issues with organizing their business and getting things done. And they get so overwhelmed that they want to walk away from it all. And I can kind of feel for them because I got into that position early on too. A lot of people say, I don't know how to juggle this. I'm too overwhelmed. And I remember having so many ideas bouncing around in my head in the beginning of me starting this business that I just wanted to put it all down and stop because I didn't know how to organize my thoughts. I didn't know how to efficiently follow up with people and balance all the clients and all the conversations I had going. And to me, the type of person that I used to be, quitting was so much easier than to just keep going. That's how I felt. So what you need to do is just take a step back and slow down for a second. And there's a couple things that you can do to get back on track to what you need to make this a successful business. So the first thing that you need to do, if you haven't done so already, is find a good follow-up system. I neglected to do that. I am now, 10 months in to my business, and now I'm having to juggle like 200 people, and it's just insane. Like I finally found a good system for myself, but there are all kinds. I know Lauren does or did the note card system where she has like the days of the week in a file, and then she puts everybody's name through there so that she knows when that day comes up, then she follows up with those people. That was a little overwhelming for me because some of the days I had like 20 people I needed to follow up with, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that. So, I mean, you can, if you haven't looked already, you can go on YouTube and look for Annie Reed's Power of Threes. That's a super awesome system. It's really simple. It's not overwhelming. And then in the back office, you can use the business activity tracker. I know of some people that works for. It doesn't work for me per se because it's just a lot of information. But just because something works for me doesn't mean it will work for you. Just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean that it won't work for you. So find something that works for you. What I'm doing right now is you can actually Google client databases, and they have some free ones out there, and you can just, this is taking me forever, but you can take all of your contact information for all of your clients, all the people that you've been talking to, and insert it into this client database. So put their name, their number, and then you can put like little notes about basically your conversations that you had with them. And then you can like put an alert to follow up with them. So like I'll put in that I talked to them today, and then I'll put an alert, whatever, 2 weeks out to follow up with them. And then it'll just come to the computer. Some have like 30-day trials. Some you can pay like $30 a month for, but you just have to like Google and look around. And the second thing that you need to do is to have a master list. In the beginning, I kind of had one, but I don't know why I didn't work from it. It wasn't smart. I would basically get on Facebook and search around for people to talk to. I'd be like, oh yeah, this person looks good. And then I would message them, and that got me nowhere because I ended up like cruising around Facebook for like an hour. And then I'm like, cool, what did I get done? Nothing. So to have that list in front of you and know that you have to, whatever your follow-up system is and your inviting system is, if you're doing the Power of Threes, know that you have to invite 3 people. So you find those 3 people off the list. Know that you have to message 3 people. Find the 3 people off the list. So you're not blindly working when you sit down at the computer. If you're not scheduling your work time, you really should be. That completely changed my life because I was working when I had the time, and I kind of like didn't plan my day around it. And now I do. And now I schedule my work time a week ahead, and then I just schedule in things around it, and it's non-negotiable. I have to do it. And then third, you need a plan. you need a way to execute what you want done. So if you want to be a diamond coach, or you want to be a 2-star diamond coach, whatever you want to do, you need a plan, right? So you can't just keep going through life hoping that diamond is going to come to you. Like, you have to do something about it. So I've been like super into podcasts right now, because with the new iPhone update, it gave us a podcast app. And you can actually go on there and search Team Beachbody, and you can search Chalene Johnson, and there's like tons of information about how to do your job. Like, it's right there in your hand. So, and it's free, which is super awesome. And even if you don't have an iPhone, you can just get on Google and type in the Chalene Show, and bam, iTunes is going to pull up and you can listen to it for free. And the one that really stood out to me, it's, if you Google the Chalene Show, and I believe the podcast is called Productivity Hacks. She basically, I read her book Push. It's basically that book shoved into like a 30-minute podcast. And she tells you exactly what you need to do to map out your goals and what you need to do to get there. And it's seriously like the most simple thing that you can do, but it's so effective. And I'm actually going to sit down and listen to the podcast again tomorrow and do everything that she tells you to do, because it's a lot of writing and brainstorming. And basically you are dumping all of the ideas that are bouncing around in your head and overwhelming you onto a piece of paper. And then you're going to figure out what you need to do to get all of that to happen. And you won't feel so overwhelmed. And I think Chalene is a genius, and I basically do anything that woman says because she's amazing, but she really has a lot of good ideas. So I think that if you have an iPhone, if you don't, you can always get on iTunes. But seriously, like, all the national wake-up calls are on the Team Beachbody podcast station. The recordings from Summit are on there. Like, you have all of that. I listen to them when I take my daughter to school in the morning. It's a half-an-hour drive, so I get to listen to like half a podcast or one full podcast each time I take her. So, I mean, you can do it when you're in the shower. You can listen to it when you're in the shower, doing dishes, when you're cleaning. Like, there's just no excuse that if you want to be successful, you have to listen to this stuff. You have to take it all in and apply it to your business. There's no way that going crazy and having all these ideas bouncing around and not knowing what to do first, like, that's not efficient. And we know it's not. And it's just going to make you want to walk away from this. So if you just slow down and make a plan and do all of the things that I mentioned, you're going to feel way less overwhelmed. I know that I have, since I started applying this stuff to my business. So that's about all I have. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, no, maybe. You can unmute yourself so I'm not listening to nothing.
I didn't know that Team Beachbody had a podcast. I knew about Chalene because I always listen to her stuff.
It's awesome.
I found him. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super awesome. It's like download. That's what I did. I just basically downloaded every single one.
That's awesome. And for the websites, the client base that you mentioned, can you put that in the team page? Like some of your favorite sites that you used, or
yep,
anything like that?
Sure can. And I can actually put the link to Chalene's podcast and the Beachbody podcast too, because even if you don't have an iPhone, you can get on your computer and it'll open it up for free and you can listen to it.
Right.
All right, I have a question from like I guess from where you have been where your coaches come to you and say they don't have time, how do you approach your coaches that come to you and say that? Like if someone says, I need this to work, this has to work because I can't afford my Shakeology, or, I love this so much, and they tell you those things, but what do you say when they turn around in the same breath and say, I just don't have time for this, or I can't find time for it?
To that, I've actually listened to a couple about time management and wanting to be successful. And the thing that I took away from that is you make time for the things that are important to you. So what I was doing before, like I posted about this, like my TV obsession, like I wasn't working, I was watching TV. So that is something that I knew I had to eliminate. Everybody has something that they can eliminate or should eliminate. And TV was that for me. And it took a lot of time for me to balance everything out, because what I was doing was playing with my kids, but I was actually sitting there on my phone with my phone in my face. And I was like, this is not, I don't have a separation of my business and my family life and spending time with my husband. And that's not okay. I wasn't staying true to my goals, because my ultimate goal is to make a better life for them so that I can spend time with them. And I wasn't doing that right now. So I think that everybody who says something like that needs to sit down and write down what you do on a daily basis. Like, what do you actually do? Because you will probably find that there's like 30 minutes here and 30 minutes there that you're like scrolling Facebook, or I don't even know what else you could be wasting time with. I don't know. But I mean, sometimes I just stand there in my kitchen like, oh my God, I want the day to slow down. My kids are driving me crazy. There's always, I have 2 kids, and I normally work when either Lucas is napping and Sophia is occupied, or they're both up, and I just like close all the doors upstairs and they just run up and down the hallway and play.
It really just comes down to how bad you want it. Even those stay-at-home moms that the working people are looking at us like, oh, you have time. No, not really. We have like a million things that we could be doing, but it comes down to how bad you want it. And you are going to have to make sacrifices if you want to do this. I've made tons. I'm sure everyone on here has made sacrifices.
My laundry is also my sacrifice. My laundry is piled high. I'm so serious. Like, my husband actually told me to just stop worrying about the housework. And it drives me nuts. When I see dishes and laundry piled up, it drives me insane. But I know that there will come a day that I can worry about that and not worry about our finances, because I'm putting in the work right now.
Also, Lindsay Krause has a really good video on YouTube about Power Hour for people that are have really major time crunches. So I'll post that in the team page, but I definitely suggest looking into stuff like Power Hours, or even Annie's Power of Threes. Really, if you follow that system, how long does that take you every day?
It seriously took me like 20 minutes.
Exactly. Anybody can do the Power of Threes if you have 30 minutes in your day. You can work your business 30 minutes every day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'll post that video, but time is just an excuse. Just like I don't have time to work out. Everybody knows people can make time. It's just what's important to you.
True that.
But yeah, I'll post that video.
Time management is one of the hardest things that I've had to explain to my coaches, because it's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have coaches that have full-time jobs and kids, and I don't know how they manage it. If I had a full-time job, I'd be going crazy, but they manage it, and that's awesome. Kudos to them.
Yep. Any other questions?
No.
That was a good question. And Bridget
That
for
was.
being loopy on Ambien.
Yeah. I've been struggling with
out.
it. I know Eva and I have talked about it, but sometimes like hearing other people have their input helps. So
It does. Anybody else?
questions? What? I have a question that's not necessarily as related to productivity as that, but and without being like a totally rude biatch, what do you say to someone when you tell them that like your Beachbody business is making you more money than your part-time job does every week, and they turn to you and say, then you need to find a new job? What do you say? I really need to know, because I
Come over here.
just need to know what to say.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I've never once heard that ever, and I think that is a really, I don't know.
Say that one more time.
Okay, so I was telling said person that I make more a week with Beachbody than I do from my part-time job. And
Right.
this person told me that I need to find a new job.
Say you are.
I had that one because someone asked about mine and Jen's income and how, a staff sergeant has a paid off boat and Jen's driving the car she is, and just yada, 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 yada. And I basically broke it down to, it really doesn't matter what our job is if we love it. Like, how can you judge what I do if I enjoy what I do on a daily basis, if I live what I do on a daily basis, and I actually get to help people? Because what do you do in your job? Let's say they're a car salesman or whatever. Do you enjoy what you do? Are you actually helping people change their lives? Is this part of your family structure? Is this something you see yourself doing for how long? And basically, that's always the road it leads down, because I tell all my new coaches, I think I had 3 that just started starting in the 10-day boot camp. And I explained to every one of them, if you don't want to do this for yourself and you don't actually want to do this to help people, if it's just about the money, you're never going to make it. You'll never succeed in this business if you are literally signing up just to make money. You're going to be one of those coaches that signs a couple people and then says this is too hard because you're more worried about your paycheck than you are about actually helping people achieve their goals. So when people talk about what we do and why we do it and the amount of money we make, I take money out of the equation, if that makes sense.
Right.
The first thing I explain is how we enjoy it and how, we wake up to help people. And the first thing on my mind's not even selling the challenge pack. It's how to get that person on that road of a healthier lifestyle. And, that's where we found a lot of our success, is always being there to help people, not just try to make money, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, I had a close friend, kind of close, wouldn't call one of my best friends, but a good friend, say he wanted to sign up. And I know the situation he was in. I was there, airman, where his wife doesn't have a job, doesn't have any money. And I got it. And he really wanted to give this a shot. When I told him I was going to send him a card, he's like, whoa. And I was like, hey, man, that's the exact amount of commission I'm going to make on this. And I want to see you succeed at this. And if you're honestly here to change your life and change, other people, and I actually want to help, I'm not trying to make money off of you. That's not what this is to me. And he goes, well, that's what I really thought it was all about. So you really just changed my opinion about this company. And I think people don't realize that. They think that all we're trying to do is rip them off like everyone else. And when people see that we're actually legitimately trying to help them and change a lifestyle, not just sell them a workout pack and bounce, that it helps a lot. So I hope that kind of helped answer that.
Thank you. You could also go into motivational speaking for a living, because you're really good at it.
It's not, someone else said that the other day, and I said, it's not, that's my point about this. I'm not trying to even motivate people. It's just how I perceive the company and how I know it's changed our lives and our family. So it's just passionate more than motivation, if that makes sense.
Right. But your passion shows through. And I think that's what makes people look at you as someone who is a motivator, because
That's
it's
what
very-
makes successful coaches. If you believe in the company, if you believe in the products, if you have the passion for what you're doing, people are going to see that and people are going to flock.
True statement.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know if you heard me. I thought you guys were on mute and I was bitching in the background a second ago, but I was just talking to Jen. Tony is selling a challenge pack right now instead of being on the team call. And he didn't tell me this. And as I'm writing this guy talking about how amazing this is, he's talking to Tony right now. He's signing me up. And I just got done talking to Tony about how he has to be more passionate about this. And the guy wrote me, he goes, Tony lives this lifestyle. It's so amazing. I want to be part of it. And I'm in the background kind of like, damn it, dude, for half an hour. Honest, you're getting signed up with Tony right now. But my point about that is that guy portrayed to me that Tony is so passionate about it now, and he's signing up with him. So it was like a real proud moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about in the background right now too. So it works. You just got to really want to help people to be successful. So that's how I look at it.
Cool.
Any other questions?
Laura.
Thanks, Eva, for the call.
What? Did somebody just say something?
I said
Jen said
for
something.
the awesome call.
Oh.
I even took away some nuggets. It's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I'm going to stop the recording.